Hi, Jennifer Phillips with Youre Realty International, and I am here today with the amazing Joelle Duenas. We have a very, very long history together.
We do.
I came into the real estate industry, and she was in the company that I came into, and she always had an open door policy, was willing to help at any given time, and she used to bring her little dog to work. It was really, really cool.
I did. I brought
cute.
Winston.
Yeah. And he was a good baby too.
He was a good boy.
Yeah.
That was
a long
18
history
years ago, I think.
Yeah, no, it was 17.
Is it 17?
No, we're not that old. No, it was like 5.
No, we're really
like
old.
It was like 5 years ago. Yeah, it was just the other
We
day.
have watched each other's children grow up.
Literally.
Yeah, we have.
It's
Absolutely.
crazy.
That's how long it's been.
So we've been through a lot together. We've had
Yes.
a lot of crazy experiences together.
We absolutely have.
We've been friends for a long time.
Yes.
And this woman has worked her tail off her whole life. I'm going to let her introduce herself in a second, but I just want to get it out there that, you know, not everybody understands how hard it is to be a single mom. And I know you single moms out there do, and maybe some other folks do as well. But when you're responsible for everything, and real estate does not have certainty, right?
Oh, no.
And it can be very scary. And so it's not optional. You figure it out.
And it doesn't have hours.
That's right. So you're your own boss, at home, at work, everywhere you go.
At midnight.
At midnight, and you made it. And you made it all these years.
Yes.
And
thank you. 22 years.
Kudos to you for raising amazing children.
Thank you. And you as well.
Thank you.
We did it.
Right? High five.
We
I'm
did it,
so
sister.
excited to
Yes.
hear how you got through the pandemic.
Yes.
And I know there were a lot of other factors going on in your life.
Yes.
It's up to you whether you want to share those or not. I know you've been very public about it. And,
Yes.
and thank goodness, because you have helped a lot of other women
Thank you.
get through things that they may not have otherwise. And I admire that so much about you. I already know that.
Yes.
So,
thank you.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about you instead of me telling them everything about you?
Pass the baton. So I've been in real estate for 22 years now, and probably been the best ride of my life. Absolutely. And even to this day, it's still my passion, and I still love it so much. Every day is a new day.
Yeah.
You know that. But really what Jen was speaking in reference to is I was diagnosed January 16th of 2017 with triple negative breast cancer. And for those of you that don't know about triple negative, it's extremely rare. It's the most aggressive type of breast cancer that you can have. And I was 49 years old. I'm 53 now. And I did 16 rounds of chemo, and then I had surgery, and then I did 30 rounds of radiation, and then I did 6 months of oral chemo after that. This is all real.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
And if
that
you would have
I'm blessed.
seen, you would have seen from nothing to that. You
In
would
3 years,
understand.
I am very blessed. I feel very fortunate that, you know, and hair doesn't mean anything until you don't have any. So
And she's always taken great pride in the way she looks. As you can see, she's absolutely gorgeous. Everybody
it's
knows
usually
it.
up in a bun, and I have my glasses on. And a t-shirt. So it's not. It's not like this.
Yeah.
This is Spanx and Spackle.
Right.
I mean,
You know, and that's another thing that I think is important to talk about is how did it feel taking off that facade, that kind of mask, if you will. And I know that means something different right now, but
Absolutely.
but really, you know, thinking about how it felt to be vulnerable.
Oh, yeah.
And to take that mask off, because you shared you with us, and that was really cool.
I wanted to do that because, you know, there was a point that I was in the hospital 6 days. I was in isolation. I had neutropenic fevers. I was septic. I took 5 blood transfusions. I had 24 hours a day of antibiotics going in me. They told me if my fever didn't break, they were going to call in the CDC because they had nothing else to do for me. And the only people that could come see me were my children. And so...
And this was not during COVID. This was
no. This was
that.
3
It
years
was
ago.
just because she was that sick and susceptible that she couldn't be exposed.
I had done 12 rounds of carboplatin chemo, and then I had done my first round of 4 of adriamycin, which they call it the Red Death for a reason. And it did almost kill me. My daughter, she's 23 now, she was 20 at the time, she said, "Mommy, you can't die. You're my best friend." And I said,
I can imagine.
I said, I'm not gonna. I said, and you know me, I looked at it, I said, I ain't gonna die. You know, at no point did I allow myself to think that I was going to die, that I came this close. And I just,
what did you say to yourself? What was the mindset in that moment that made you say, nope, I'm going to win, period, it's not optional?
you know, I had gone to my oncologist and my blood pressure was 58/49. I was tachycardic. I went straight to the emergency room. And I remember my chemo nurse looked at me, and you develop a bond because you see them all the time.
Sure.
And she had tears in her eyes, and chemo nurses don't get tears in their eyes. They're the most amazing, strong humans that God gave us. And she said, get your children here. And I looked at her and I said, am I going to die? And she said, you're sicker than you know. And that very moment, besides the day that they sat and told me that I had cancer and that I had triple negative, and that it was going to be the hardest thing I'd ever done, I just thought, you know what? Okay. But guess what? I'm not going to quit. And the thing that my mantra, and I almost had it tattooed on my body, but the thing that I just kept saying to myself was, I refuse to give up. I refuse to stop. I wake up every day happy to be here. I do.
I think that's been your mantra for your entire life.
Absolutely.
And it may not have been as prevalent in your mind in the moment, but because I know your life and you have had to deal with some hurdles that a lot of people haven't. And so I believe that those hurdles, God was creating you and prepping you for that moment. And thank God he did, because we need you here. I need you here.
Absolutely.
And I'm grateful that you had that strength and that power, and I watched you give it to other people as well.
Thank you.
And I just appreciate that story so
I just
much.
wanted women to know that, it's going to be scary. It's going to be terrifying, and you're going to have anxiety, and there's going to be days that you don't know if you can keep going, and you're going to lose your hair, and you're going to look like a frog, and that's okay. And so when everything is taken from you like that, and especially with breasts as women, I'm sorry, but it's a very personal thing.
Yes.
You feel like your body has betrayed you. You feel like your body has betrayed you. So that's a whole nother
layer
thing that you have to deal with, a mindset of that. Yeah. It was a whole plethora of things, and there's a song by Matchbox 20 that I listen to sometimes if I feel like I'm getting, having a down day. No, it's not a popular song, and I'm gonna butcher it. I should know the name perfectly by now, but it's I'm not afraid to grow old, because it just means that I'm not gonna die young.
Wow.
So I'll tell anybody, hey, I'm 53 years old. I'm
right?
an old
No
broad.
shame in that, right?
There's no shame in that.
I'm looking good at 53,
because
just saying.
because guess what? You get to live a little bit more.
That's right.
But
Okay,
so sweet.
So you got through that.
I did. I did.
And
I had to relaunch my career.
I bet.
After
That's
that,
what I was going to
because
say.
I
What
hadn't
happened? I mean,
been
how did
able-
you
I-
get back into?
It was crazy, but I did. I had to relaunch my career, and I had plenty of time when I was laying in bed to really start thinking about where I wanted to take my business, and I looked at it as an opportunity to grow my business in a different direction that I had ever grown before. And
a lot of time to reflect.
Oh yes,
and then to appreciate what you had.
absolutely,
Okay.
more so than ever. I
Yeah.
mean, and I say this with sincerity, but with candidness also, that cancer made me a better person.
Yeah.
It humbled me. It took everything. It does. It just strips everything away from you, and you really get a chance, if you take that opportunity, to rebuild yourself into someone that you like more. And so I thought, I want to run my business differently. And I feel like I was always a really, really good realtor, but I feel like I'm a great realtor now. I feel like, and it's something that I just appreciate every single transaction more than I ever have. And I appreciate my clients more than I ever have. And so many of them have become my friends, and I just build this rapport, and we just laugh. and we joke, and we during even
I can't even imagine
stuff,
that.
all kinds of stuff goes
We do a little
sideways.
of that,
You
yeah.
know it does.
Yeah.
Everything goes sideways
Right.
in transactions.
And you have to
always,
find the good in it somewhere.
You have to laugh.
Yeah,
because
you do.
and you can't personalize it. I think
No.
that's the most important part.
That's huge.
That's so
great
huge.
Advice.
You can't personalize it. It's
Right.
okay. So they're upset because the pool pump went out 3 days before closing.
Right.
Oh well.
Right.
There's nothing I can do
Let's
about that.
fix it.
You can't.
Yeah,
let's
let's
fix
figure
it
it out
Yeah,
and
and
get it
let's
over
move
with.
on.
Yes,
We don't have to
Right.
scream and yell and fight with each other and create problems. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
well, what can we do to make this work for everyone?
Right.
And it's not just about, well, my client won't do this, and let's just talk about this.
Yeah.
Let's just be people, humans. Let's get
Show a little
everyone
compassion for
all
one
kinds
another.
of absolutely
Right.
compassion. I mean,
Right.
everybody's stressed.
kinds
All
of
kinds
stuff.
of really fun stuff.
Yes.
So you just have to get through it. And that kind of brings me to what one of your original questions was about COVID and what I've personally done to try to get through this in my business. And it's funny, I had a listing hit the market days after COVID hit, probably a week or so.
Was it
And
prior?
It was.
Okay.
It was. And he was finishing up some stuff and tightening stuff up and, finishing the yard and doing this and that and the other. And we were going to, put it on the market. Beautiful home, beautiful home. So he calls me and he's like, oh my gosh, I don't know if we should put this on the market. And I said, I completely understand your thinking. And I don't know if we should either. I said, but I think this is something that we need to talk about. What are some of your concerns? What are some of the things that we can do to maybe mitigate those a little bit?
Yeah.
And he said, well, I don't want people coming into my home, contaminating my home. We don't, because it was such a scary thing. We haven't lived through anything like that in our
Right.
generation.
Right.
So I said, I happen to have like 2 big boxes of gloves because I've always, done my own hair and been a kitchen witch.
No.
So I have all these gloves. And from when I was in the hospital, and they had given me 2 big boxes of face masks, so I was some of the only people.
You were
on
ready.
the
You were
planet.
kind of ready. You were
I
kind of
was
ready.
That's ready
hilarious.
for a
Oh my
pandemic and
gosh.
didn't even know it. Yeah.
Oh my
I
gosh.
was, one of the only people on the planet who had face masks.
Oh
I
my
said, I have an idea. I said, let's take that cute little table that you have in the guest bathroom. I said, let's put that out front. I will know how many people are going to be in the party. We'll leave, 6 gloves out and 3 masks and, hand sanitizer and all kinds of stuff. And he goes, that's a great idea. He was perfectly happy with that. And it worked out wonderfully. The second people that looked at the house wrote an offer on it, full price offer. We closed in 32 days and rocked on.
And what I'm hearing
I
you
still
say,
do the same.
and I think the cool part is that you eliminated the fear. And
Yes.
That's huge. And I think that's huge across the board. In
Absolutely.
all transactions.
Absolutely.
And you
Nobody
obviously-
likes fear.
This crazy situation that we have no idea what's going to happen
Never
next,
experienced.
no idea what we're
I
doing.
mean, we didn't know if
Boom!
the towns were going to
But
die.
you
and we didn't
instinctually
know.
knew, remove the fear.
People can't ever make good decisions from a position of fear.
Absolutely.
I have the first-time home buyers right now, and they're planning their wedding. He is in Afghanistan. He's been held over 3 times. He's been gone 7 months.
Thank you for his service.
Absolutely.
You know what a big deal for both of us that is. Yes,
Oh my gosh,
yes.
absolutely. And so she goes, well, can you Skype with us? And I said, absolutely. Actually did it on Facebook Messenger, but she's young. She knows how to do all that. I don't. I'm old.
Right. We have to ask our kids.
So she knows all this stuff.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
So I'm
Yeah.
like, sweetie, you have to connect it and then
Yeah.
call me because I don't know how to do all this.
That's right.
And she's like, okay.
Just tell me which button to push.
Okay, Mama Joe. That's what she calls me. Okay, Mama
Mama
Joe.
Joe.
We were doing that, and I said, the most important thing for me is that you feel heard, that you feel respected, that you feel informed, and that you feel like I'm guiding you from 22 years of experience. And they're like, that means so much to us.
It's
about
everybody
people.
operated from that level of integrity, and the commission is just a byproduct of you doing a great job serving somebody else.
I agree. I
And
agree with that.
who know that behind all this beauty
Oh gosh.
lies all of this deep, well, I know it does, deep rooted sincerity, compassion, and kindness.
Oh.
And you
You're
know,
gonna make me
people
cry.
often
That's so
will
sweet.
mistake, because you have a presence. You walk into, you know it. She walks into a room, she has a
Can't help
presence, right? And that's great, and it's awesome, and it's beautiful.
I want to be able to look at myself in the mirror at night and say, you know what? You did the very best you could today. I've always been of the adage that, you know, you can't raise good humans if you're not a good human.
That's right.
You can't.
Absolutely.
I could not be more proud of my young adults that I've raised. I look back on my life now, I'm old enough now, I've had enough road behind me. What a journey it's been, but what an amazing journey. I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't
I'm with you.
take anything. It's been hard.
Yep.
It's been tough. It seems like everything has been something that I've had to figure out. And
And you come from good stock, I will say.
I do.
That has given you a lot of ideas and ways of coping and pushed you to do those
Oh, my
things.
mother was the most incredible woman. Little tiny. I'm a giant compared to my mother.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. In fact, last week I filled out the registration form for her for this Dojo funeral home because hospice is calling for that. And she's got 24-hour care, and she's in the very last stages of Alzheimer's, and they live right next door to me. So
It's so amazing.
there's nothing easy about my life.
Right. You're like, I just bring it on. Just bring it on.
Just give me some
Yeah,
more.
I can take it.
I have these
can
shoulders
take
that
it.
are this big. Just give me some more.
What's the saying?
So-
God doesn't give you more than you can handle, so you're a badass.
I just think I'm a real badass. Thank you, Lord.
Right.
You know,
Thanks,
absolutely.
but we can stop now. We
But-
can slow it down.
Yeah, but when can I get a little bit of a break? I need a little picnic.
Little
Just a
one,
picnic.
maybe an ocean day or
yeah,
something.
just a beach day,
Right?
please.
Right.
So, but it just seems to be the fabric of my life. It just seems to be the fabric of my life, and I just look at it as a mantle that I put on, and I just wear it, and I wear it with as much dignity as I can, and every day is a new day. Every day is a gift, but every day's tough.
Yeah.
But my mother was truly the most indelible spirit. I could not have had a better mother.
Yeah. It means a lot. It means so
It
much.
does.
And I know that your kids would say the same thing about you.
Oh my gosh.
So-
Well, Fallon just called me,
Yeah.
the baby,
Yeah.
and we talk every single day. We're to a really fun point, and I tell my friends that have 14-year-old daughters or 15-year-old daughters, and
It gets better, I swear.
and they hate each other, and they're so awful, and I say, oh no, just hold on.
Right. It's coming.
We swap recipes now. You get to the good stuff. I promise you. Just
Hang in there.
hang in there for those 4 years
Yeah.
that are awful.
Right.
I know. Most of the time. Not all the time.
Right.
Sometimes you have that anomaly child that's not terrible, but most of the time they're pretty terrible.
My best friend had
Those are
3
pretty
girls.
terrible.
I had 3 boys. And
Huge
I
difference.
felt like I won. I mean, sounds bad. I love these girls dearly.
Of course. We
Now
love
they're
our baby
older,
girl.
and it's
Absolutely.
been easier.
Absolutely.
But all the things that I had to listen to, I'm like, oh wow.
You're like, oh wow.
I really wanted that girl, but I'm like, maybe God gave me boys for a reason.
Knew what he was doing.
Yes,
He knew what he was doing. They each had their own set of challenges, but there's something about girls and it's hormones. It's got to be. You know.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
we'll give them that grace. It's
Absolutely,
hormones. It's,
yeah.
Yes.
We'll make that excuse.
Well,
up
we're a
to
little
them.
crazy too during that time.
Hey,
you know,
we're a
so,
little
yeah.
crazy, period, and we're okay with that, right? I love it. I love spending time with Joelle. She's so much fun.
There's no BS here.
Never any BS.
No BS
you get
here.
what you see is what you get.
All the time,
She's
throw 'em
very
away.
honest.
Throw 'em away.
Sometimes too honest, but that's okay. We appreciate honesty a lot, right?
But if I love you, I will look at you and say,
Yes.
you know what?
You
I
need more
love you.
Botox. That's what she'll say. But anyways, it
I'm
didn't
frozen.
happen
I'm dead.
today or anything. But I love it. It's true though. You want
It's
that.
okay.
You want real people in your
Absolutely.
life. That's what you want.
Oh,
And-
yes.
And that's what you get. And I think that that's what's gotten you through every hurdle you've been through. Is you're real. You're authentic. You tell it like it is. You jump hurdles when you need to.
Yes.
There's no BS.
Nope.
Right? You get to
None.
where you need to go. You don't back down, and you make sure that you never give up.
Never.
And when you say that,
Never.
it comes across deep,
Oh, yeah.
and it comes from your heart, and I can feel it when you say it.
Yes.
So to me, that's everything.
Thank
So if there's one message that you would give an agent that's maybe struggling, or a new agent, or an agent that may just be trying to relaunch their business since
Right.
you've been through that,
Absolutely.
what would be that one thing that you would tell them to start right away to help them get moving forward?
I would tell them, you know what? What I want you to do, the first thing I want you to do is I want you to figure out how much commission you're going to make on this transaction. And I want you to keep that number in mind, and I want you to be nice to people. But I don't want that to be your focus.
Right.
It has nothing to do with you. Nobody cares how much money you make or don't make.
Right.
You are dealing with people that are making the largest financial decisions of their life. They are in a U-Haul driving across country with 2.5 children, a goldfish, and a dog throwing up, and you need to make sure that this happens.
Like I said, you get the real thing.
The creeper puppy is puking everywhere because his
And
car's
you're getting the
sick.
call the whole time.
And I'm getting the calls
Right,
because the pool pump went out,
Right.
or you know, we
Right.
had a hailstorm
Right.
and half the shingles blew off.
Right. Everything fell out of the back of the U-Haul.
Whatever.
Absolutely.
The trailer they were pulling got stolen halfway here. I've had that happen.
Oh my gosh.
I've had it all. There's no business like real estate. My best advice is be deadly serious, but go about it with humor. We need to create more of an atmosphere where we don't work against each other, we work together, because we all have one goal. It's to represent our clients to the best of our ability, and that doesn't have to be in a confrontational way at all. At all.
Right.
In fact, it's better for our clients if it's not that way
Right.
between everyone, because they
Absolutely.
feel the tension and they're not going to have a good feeling about it, the whole transaction in general. I have found out some strategies that work over the years, and you can't look at this job as the money I'm going to make, and if I don't make this
Right.
money, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to make my house payment and this and that. I mean, well, so what? None of us, we've all been there.
Right.
We've all
You
been
can't
there.
operate from scarcity.
Yeah, you cannot.
It becomes
And
very dangerous and toxic.
it-
Yes.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. So as long as you keep the vision in mind that you're representing people, this is a huge, huge, huge thing to them. And like you say, it may be a $12,000 deal, it may be a $26,000 deal,
Yeah.
but those are the biggest deals in their lives. Just start at the basics, work your sphere, work your farm, do open houses, just go back to the basics, but just check your heart. Check your heart and go from a point of really caring about people and how they're feeling in the transaction, and how you can make this the easiest that you can.
So I asked a few of my friends to do these videos because I knew the level of integrity, obviously, that they work with, and you being one of those people. And it's really bizarre that every agent that I've talked to
Yes.
has the common theme of wanting to work together with other agents,
Yes.
and getting the word out about how important it is to work together in a
Yes.
transaction, and how much easier it is, and how to help put a smile on each other's face during the whole thing. We watch a lot of the stuff go on social media.
Oh, yeah.
People complaining and about this agent or that agent, and first of all, that's an ethics violation. Second of all, so don't do that. Second of all, it really just doesn't make us look good as people.
Not at all.
And I believe that we guide a lot of things, and sometimes just backing up and thinking maybe they didn't have a good day, being compassionate about that. And I know
Right.
you're really good at that. And everybody I've talked to, everybody that's been willing to come forward and speak out loud,
Yes.
has said the same thing about that.
Good.
And so that's been a very common theme. The more people can hear that, the more our clients benefit, like you said.
Absolutely.
And the more we love our jobs. right?
Absolutely.
Because
This is not an easy
what
job.
we do. It's not.
This is a pressure-filled choice that we've made, you know,
Yes.
but yet it's the best thing. I can't imagine doing anything else.
Me either.
I can't.
Yeah, right.
But at the end of the day, if I die tomorrow, what do I want the last thing that I said to somebody to be?
And what do you want your
With a
legacy
feeling
to be as well?
Absolutely.
What do you want to leave behind?
Well,
just this new way of, you know, making sure that we take care of our health,
Yes.
first of all. I was really surprised when I went to the store and there's no toilet paper, but there's lots of vitamins and protein shakes, and I'm going, what are we doing here, guys? Like,
No,
I was
you're absolutely
absolutely
right.
shocked. This was an interesting theory, that because it's a big bag, like toilet paper and paper towels, they're big things. And so when there's a fear, people tend to want to have large things,
something tangible.
and
Got it.
to feel safe, and that they're in,
Because I guess a
lies
can
the
of corn just
reason-
doesn't cut it.
right? And I don't know if
Makes
it's
sense.
true or not, but
I don't know.
it was just really bizarre
That is
to
interesting.
think about, you know, all the different things.
Too bad they
the
weren't
psyche
hoarding
behind
houses.
it. And they are hoarding houses.
They are hoarding houses.
We can't get them to
We-
sell them anymore. That
we
everybody
can't.
wants to buy, nobody wants to
There's
sell.
no inventory right now.
Right? It's crazy.
There's none. I have
Your house goes on the market, it's gone in
Oh,
a
it just
day.
it evaporates.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah,
So,
it's a crazy market.
it is. It
And
is.
and
Great market to sell in, and great market to buy in because of the interest rates.
Exactly.
You know, and people are going, well, prices are going up a little bit. Well, your monthly payment may be a wash. If in fact the price went up a little bit and the interest rate's half of what it was, you might
chances
be
are
saving
good.
money.
The majority of your payment amount is interest rate driven.
Right.
I say, you know what? I would so much rather you have money in the bank. The payment difference is not going to be that much, but you're going to have $20,000 in the bank because you don't know when you're going to get cancer.
Right.
You don't know when you're going to get laid off. You don't
Always be prepared.
always be prepared.
We've been there more than one time in our lives.
We have been
now.
there more.
We know how to
remember
rebuild
the crash of 08, 07, 06?
Very well, very well.
I was
yes.
cleaning houses.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? It was insane. You know, people are talking about a lot of doom and gloom ahead, and you know, we're not
I don't think we're-
forecasting
no.
that right now.
But I mean, as a whole in the Tucson market, I've been watching, we have been increasing between 13 and 20% annually for the last 5-6 years. It's pretty amazing how much our market has it's been a nice, steady,
Slow progression.
slow climb
Yes.
as we want.
As it should be.
We don't want to do that anymore.
Right. Ever again.
When our baseline
ever.
was here and our
Yes.
crash was here, remember those days?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, I was doing BPOs. 50 bucks.
I think we all were.
50
Yeah, I
bucks
think
a buck.
everybody
Yeah.
jumped in.
Because that's how we made money. That's one of the only ways
actually
we could
told
make
somebody
money.
about that today that was telling me they needed to make money fast. I said, have you ever heard of a BPO?
Yeah, go do them.
I literally told them, go do BPOs. Like,
Do
that's
4 a
great way
day,
to jump
that's
in.
200 bucks.
There you go. Yep.
Heck yeah,
There
you
go.
know, so we would
Yep.
do BPOs, but I can remember it was so hard for me psychologically because I would go in these homes that you could tell people had been walked out of with the sheriff's department.
Hard.
And there were still kids' toys, there were, you know, so we've
And
seen.
you know, a lot of them were misled by lenders.
Oh, absolutely,
I mean, it was
they
such
were.
a different world than any.
We complain about
it's crazy.
the real strict guidelines that we have to
protecting
follow.
everybody.
But it's a good protection for all of us, especially consumers, our clients
Don't
that
go
are
through
built
that
in.
again. Yeah.
Exactly.
You have
So
you
good.
have so much diversity, and you're so interesting, and you have a really solid message. If people can adopt some of those things and take them with them on their journey,
I think it would make our industry better. I think
would,
I do.
and it would make them stronger as people, and it will give them the courage to overcome anything like you're doing and you have been doing. So
I appreciate you.
so
Thank you.
too.
It's awesome. Love you.
All right, we're out. Thank you so much for watching.